Anishtamishtam mishram cham. The result of the actions, of all actions, are only of three kinds that can happen. Anishtam, Ishtam, and Mishram. What else can happen? Supposing when you do an action, what is the reaction that can rise? My talk now, by which what can happen? Ishtam, conducive blessedness may come to your bosom. Or Anishtam, you misunderstand all that I said and it ended in a tragedy. Or Mishram, a combination of good and bad. What else can happen when you act in any field? Ishta, it can be conducive. Anishta, it can be unconducive. Or Mishra, a combination of it. In certain aspects I won, but in certain, I mean, you heard the litigators generally saying that we went up to Supreme Court. Then what will happen in Supreme Court? Oh, won the case, it can be, or lost the case, or there's only one third alternative is, in certain aspects I won, but the other aspects I did not win, I lost. This is all that can happen. In karma also, when you are doing actions in the world outside, it can be either noble and wise or unwise, or a mixture of the both. The result can be good, bad, or indifferent, a mixture of them. Trividham karmana bhalam. The result of an action can be only three kinds. But bhavatyatyagina, to whom? To atyagi. One who has not renounced the desire for fruits and ego. Those of us who are working with ego and desire, with the attitude of I plus I want, to such people, the results can be only three kinds. Either ishtam, you may win what you want, or you may not win, or it may be partial victory. This is all that happened. To whom? To those who are working with ego and selfish desires. But natu sannyasinam kvachit. A sannyasi, one who has renounced totally the ego and the selfish desires, whenever he is acting in the world outside, he never gains either ishta or anishta or a mishra results at all for himself. Carefully. When I have committed a murder, 10 years ago, let us say, and 10 years I was smart to run away from the police, and the police ultimately discovered that that fellow who did the karma at that time is this Swami Chinmayananda, who is giving Gita discourses, the famous Swami Chinmayananda, giving the famous discourses in this ground on this day when he has discovered that it is me in my Purvashram committed. Is an example. I am not confessing anything. Now supposing I had done at that time, later on I surrendered to my teacher, I had a new vision altogether, let us say, and I studied everything, and I want to share it to everybody, and out of pure love I come and share, okay? But the law, the arms of law are long, though slow, and they discovered the identity that rascal criminal murderer had again run to the north and went to the Himalayas and met the Guru, and that is this Swami Chinmayananda. Certainly the government is right. that society is just if I am at this moment arrested and taken away. Why? This is, no, he is not punishing the Swami, but he is punishing the guy who did the job, but he prostrates to the Swami, but gives what the other fellow deserves. Isn't it? Now then, if I commit some sin for which my disciple is punished, because the Swami is no more available, you walk, no substitute is possible. Who did the karmas? I, the ego, prompted by my desires, I did the work. And therefore, when vasanas are created, the vasanas can bring the sorrows only to me. The one who is the doer of a crime, if he deserves punishment, he will be punished by the society, by the laws in the community, but not a substitute. Here is a jnani, one who has transcended the ego. The ego is awakened to the higher state of consciousness. Such an individual without ego and selfish desires, when he is acting on in the world outside, a Jesus, a Muhammad, a Buddha, when he is working in the world outside, neither the merits that he has done will reach him, nor can the demerits that he has done punish him. Because that individual who has got the abhiman that I am doing, that ego is no more in him. Even in your bedroom it happens. In the night you are restless, therefore you turn and lift your knee, and the knee goes into the ribs of your wife. She wakes up with terrible physical pain, and she turns angry and sees that you are innocently sleeping. She gets up and massages and says, tomorrow morning when the fellow gets up, I will tell him. He will not. Daytime try. In the night you can suffer, in the daytime also suffer. Take your knee into the... You understand? When a child kicks you in the sleep, you don't blame him. Because the poor child or the poor man doesn't know. He is not there. He is doing only a work, a movement. In the same way, when the ego has merged in him, such a jnani, whatever he does, there is no question of a vasana being formed, either good, bad or indifferent. Mishram. Because there is no ego to create that vasana. That is why in Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter, when you are discussing, we said that without ego and egocentric desires, when you act on the world outside, the existing vasanas get exhausted, no new vasanas are created. No vasanas can be created because there is no ego. Thus, it is only when egoistically, with the idea that I am doing and I want to enjoy the result, then alone the vasana incrustations cripple our personality, dynamism. But when there is no ego and no anxiety, but I am doing the work, I have renounced these two within me and I am doing the work in the world outside. Why? Because it is a thing that is expected of me and I should do it. If I don't do it, I would be miserable in life. It will be demeaning to my dignity as a human being, and therefore I rush out and do that job. That tyaga is called sattvic tyaga. And when the sattvic tyaga is undertaken, you improve and evolve into a higher state inwardly within. This is a path in and through life and not in the caves of the Himalayas. It's not escapism from life, but dynamically live in life and change your attitude to life and act on in the world outside. This is the field for you to reach the highest unfoldment of your own inner personality. Panchayita. Panchaidani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodhame Sankhye Kritande Proktani Now, the analytical mind of a great subjective scientist, having understood this much and expounded this much, that the action in the outer world must come out from you. That is the flood in which the vasanas can be exhausted, purgated. Having said that much, the analytical, excruciatingly analytical mind is taking up action or work and try to find out what are the constituent parts of any activity. We are not talking of good work or bad work. We are not qualifying the work itself. We respond to the external stimuli. The BMI, encountering the situations of OET, your body, your mind, your intellect, your physical, psychological and intellectual equipment, encounters the situations created in the outer world through the objects, emotions and thoughts. Meaning, I encountering the situation outside is called act. We are constantly acting, but we have not scientifically analyzed and tried to discover what are the constituent parts of an action, without which, or without any one of which, action is impossible. The data is with us. We are dealing and living in it. But we have not paused to contemplate and think and understand the mechanism of action. Here, these are moments in scriptures where the teacher makes us pause in our life and understand how we are acting in the world outside. And with this understanding, a large amount of mastery upon your own personality comes to us. In all our encounters in the world outside, you feel a masterliness because you know the mechanism. Just as a man who knows what is under the bonnet or the hood in the car, he is confident of taking a long trip. One who doesn't know anything about the mechanism, only knows how to drive, he is at all times afraid and he is constantly praying, "Hey Venkateshwara, 1 rupee. You see, why? I will give you 1 rupee, please take me across. No troubles en route. No. Why? If there is trouble, I would know what to do. But once you know the mechanism, you are confident of reaching the goal or reaching the destination. Because even if it develops some trouble en route, you stop it and pull it to the side, you stop it and you open the bonnet and adjust and see what is the trouble. You know the mechanism. I say, you and I have been given a birthday gift. What? This body and this mind, this intellect. When you are born, it was given a birthday gift. You know not what it is and how it is working. You are thrown into the field of action. You are doing it. It is an owner-driven car, but you know nothing under the bonnet. Whenever you are in trouble, you have to stop the car and ask all the lorries going to stop it. Helplessness, because of lack of understanding. Here he is analyzing it for us. Panchaidani, etani, these pancha, 5 constituent parts, Mahabaho, O mighty armed soldier, Karanani are the causes or the aspects, the contributory factors. Nibodhame, please understand from me. I am going to announce it for you. 5 factors go into the structure and composition of every action. A meager action or a mighty action. In all activities in the world outside, actions that spring from our bosom, 5 factors are the constituent parts of it. Sankhya, and now, Arjuna immediately brought the brows together because the intellectual man doesn't want another man's opinion. So he said, you are brainwashing me? Just because I am listening to you, don't brainwash me. Krishna saw that reaction on the face of Arjuna, immediately understood the quality of the student. So immediately he washes his hands off. My dear man, don't misunderstand me. I am not taking it as a rabbit from my hat. I have an original idea of my own. No. It is not that I said it. So said Einstein. Then it is all. Don't just say that when I am saying anything of relativity theory, you won't accept it. What do you know about it? Then when I say that, so says Einstein, you accept immediately. In the same way he says, Sankhye Kritante Proktani. These are declared in the very Sankhyan. The very Sankhyan there is not Sankhyan philosophy. It is the Upanishads. Because Sankhyan philosophy doesn't contain these 5 factors. Maybe there was a book at that time, extant at that time, which explained these 5 factors. But that book is now lost. So it cannot be the Sankhyan there means a Sankhyan philosophy. It can be only the logical discussions upon these matters subjective. The Upanishads, the great scriptures, Kriti Proktani, Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam, in order to fulfill every action, meager action of day-to-day habits to great achievements. In all actions, 5 factors to go through. This is not mine, I have not counted the 5. This is declared in our scriptural textbook. Chak Vedam Vividha Chak Devam. When once analyzed and explained to you, you may at the end of it say that, oh Swamiji, what a wonderful idea you said. Why? Every one of us knows. Because after all we are working in the world outside. Every moment we are responding and to the world outside, we are encountering situations. We know it, but we have not become conscious. So that when it is announced, you will say that, oh Swamiji, what a wonderful idea you have said. It's silly. Why? Elementary. Until you know it, you are ignorant. Once you know it, you will not be even grateful to the teacher who taught you. Why? It is so simple. It already knows. If you had paused and thought over it, you would have discovered it. It is nothing new. Now he announces, Adhishthanam. The very foundation of all actions is the body. When the body is not, action is not possible. Mentally I am embracing her. You continue. You are allowed. Because she is not worried about it. In order to do an action, physical body is necessary. That is the very adhisthana, the very basis, the seat of all action. Action can spring forth only from this pad, just as the rocket can rise from the rocket pad. In the same way, where does all the action spring from? From my body. When I am not conscious of the body, all my action cease. When I am not conscious of my body, as in under chloroform, all actions have ended. In deep sleep, all actions have ended. The moment I wake you up, you start action. Oh yeah, you're cleaning me up and all that. No, just to watch your actions, that is all. Now you sleep. The moment I touch you, your consciousness is invoked on the body, and you became conscious of your body, you got up and showed your Vishwarupa. You get the idea of what I'm saying? Seat of all actions, the pad from which all actions stream forth or ejected out, rocketed out from me, is the body. So the body is necessary for an action. Similarly, tatha karta, the ego, the doer, I am the doer. That ego is necessary. I am the seer, hearer, smeller, taster, toucher in my sense organs. I am the feeler in my mind. I am the thinker in my intellect. If this consciousness is not there, no activity is possible. Karta, the doer. Karanam cha prithagvidam. Karanam, the instruments. If I have only a body, but I have no eyes, I see. If I have no ears, I cannot hear. These instruments of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, these karana are necessary in order to act in the world outside. Similarly, the instruments of action is necessary. Prithakvidam, vividhascha prithak cheshta. In order to receive the stimuli from the outer world, there must be the instruments of perception. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, the five are the windows cut on my physical body through which the outer world in the form of color and shape, through the eyes, sound through the ears, smell through the nose, taste through the tongue, touches through the skin, reaches my bosom. My mind consults my intellect. The intellect, the executive officer, with reference to similar precedents in the past, memories of the past, according to his wisdom, responds and orders what should be the response. The mind sends those responses, orders, to the muscles of the physical body to respond to the external stimuli. You come to me and very privately tell me that, Swamiji, you are a rascal. That Mahamantra, when I have reached, I consult my intellect with reference to my past experiences. Such people must be immediately silenced, and therefore the orders came to the mind. The mind told my biceps muscles to shrink and expand. I mean, this happens, isn't it? Try. Any one of you? It's not, I am not the fault. It is not my fault. That mantra is such. It is the mantra shakti that you got it on your nose. You get the idea. I respond. I touch something hot in the kitchen. Immediately. And between that split moment, what all things have happened? The heat in that spoon, through my skin, reported to the mind. Mind consults the intellect. Intellect with reference to the past experience says, it is fire. Immediately relax, pull the hand, and therefore the mind ordered the muscles. Suppose you are drunk. You understand? You touched something hard and the information went to the mind, but mind was asleep. Mind consulted the intellect. Intellect was not there. The executive officer has left the office a little early that day. So the file was kept up for tomorrow's disposal. And next day morning you say that, Kya ho gaya mere? What has happened? My hand is burned. Must be something happened in the club. But something happened when 1.5 bottle is already inside. So what I wanted to say was, it is so true. Prithak cheshta. The instruments of action. Instruments of action on the physical body are only 5. The instrument of speech, hands, legs, the genital organ and the anus are the 5 points on the physical body by which I express my responses to the world outside. The chestas are different. The hands cannot do what the legs can do, the legs cannot do what the speech can do, the speech cannot do what the genital organ can do, genital organ cannot do what the anus does. The functions are different. These are the 5 instruments in every one of us by which I express, give vent to my responses to the external stimuli. Think, Prithak Cheshta, Daivam Chaiva Panchamam. Now, so all these instruments are, the 5 factors have been described. The body, which is the very seat of all actions. Tadha Karta, the ego. Karanam, the instruments, the 5 sense organs of perception. The Prithak Cheshta, the instruments of action. And lastly, Daivam. There must be a field, a conducive field for me to express, isn't it? Carefully think. Eyes cannot function in that as vision unless there are things to see, shining in light. If there are no sounds in the world, these 2 holes will be without function. The sense stimuli are necessary for the sense organs to function. The field in which it can function is called Deva, the presiding deity of the instruments. So then, the presiding deity in the Upanishad said that the fire is the presiding deity of eyes. Does it mean that eyes have got fire? Fire has got light. Without light, eyes have no vision. In pitch darkness, nobody has got vision. If there were no principle of light in the cosmos, every child born would have asked, Mummy, what are these 2? Why? Because it has no function. Even if I close, nothing happens. When I open, nothing happens. Isn't it? Just as today the children ask the navel, Mum, what is that? Why? Because there is some structure, but no function. Everything else has got some function, but this, no function. If I close it also, nothing happens. If I open it also, nothing happens. If I pull it, nothing happens. If I push it, nothing happens. But it is there something. So then, Mummy, what is that? And Mummy says, ask Daddy. And when he meets Daddy, he forgets it. You understand? This is natural. Similarly, we would have asked, what are these 2 holes? These holes have got a validity because there is sound and I am hearing the sound. When I close, I cannot hear. When I open, I hear. Therefore, these are the instruments by which I recognize the sense stimuli, sound. Thus, the Deva is the sense stimuli, and these sense stimuli are, according to the Upanishads, the 5 great elements in their tanmatras. Therefore, the 5 factors that are necessary constituents of every action is the body, the karta, the consciousness functioning through the sense organs, the perceiver, I, the karta, the seer, the smeller, the taster, the toucher. Meaning the one in me who becomes conscious of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Karta. The instruments of perception, the different functions of the various instruments of action, and the 5 great elements in their subtlest form called the sense stimuli. These five must come into play in every action, or else activities are not possible. Thus, having expounded or analyzed action as the constituents of action, the teacher points out, goes one step further. Shariravaṁ man. When we said that these five are the constituent parts of every action, the teacher feels that you may feel, the student may not grasp it properly, that there is no exception. In every action these five factors must come. Without these five factors it cannot happen. Everything is there, there is no sense of ego, under chloroform, nothing happens. If everything is there but the eyes, ears are not there, then you cannot see or hear. Those functions are not possible. When all these things are there but there is nothing to see or hear, then nothing cannot happen. The sense perceptions are necessary, the sense organs of actions are necessary. Every one of the five factors are necessary, even a single one is not there, action is not possible. In every action, all the five join together and function as a team. In order to make us understand that there is no exception in it, the teacher points out, Sharira, Vang, Manaso, Abhi. All activities that you are undertaking, whether it is the body, or by the speech, or by the mind, whether the actions, the body there means the sense organs of perception, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Speech stands for all responses. The instrument of speech, the function of the instrument of speech. Similarly, the function of the hands, the function of the legs, function of the genital organ or of the anus. No function, no function of the instruments of action, nor any of the functions of the instruments of perception can take place, nor can the mind and the intellect think or feel. So, Sharira Vang Mana, mind there includes the intellect. None of these activities, bodily activities, or in terms of speech, or in terms of feeling and thinking, none of these activities, prarabdhenaraha, every activity thus initiated by an individual, nyayam va vipareetam va. Whether that activity, physical, mental and intellectual, are all nyayam, justice, with justice, or viparita, or the opposite, meaning whether you are doing good work or bad work, whether you are doing a noble action in the society or a wicked action in the society, whether you are doing it with justice or without justice, injustice. Right or wrong is not a question. Any activity springing forth from you, whether it is oriented with the body or the speech or the mind, and these are the instruments of all your actions. With the sense organs I perceive meaning see, hear, smell, taste, touch. With the instruments of action I act in the world outside. With one mind and intellect I feel and think, which are also actions. All actions, all potential actions in every individual, good or the opposite, vipareetam va. In all those actions, panchaite, these five are tasya hetavaha, the cause, the constituent parts of it. Any one of them is missing, it is not there. In India, coffee means three things. I am saying particularly in India, because outside India, any water, black water, slightly warm is called coffee. Morning they switch on the electrical automatic. A certain temperature, up to that will come, then cool down and then again warm up. And like hot water geysers is there and they pull you. That is coffee. Here coffee means coffee decoction, milk and sugar. All the three put together is a sample of coffee. If any one of them is not there, that is why North Indians never like the South Indian coffee, because milk is no milk. Because in North India they make coffee in milk. Here we make a coffee and pour milk. I mean, there's a lot of difference. So that these are the three aspects of it. Without any one of them, it is not there. In the same way, these five are the cause for every action. In the sense, these five mixed together is every action. Good or bad, whether that action is physical, mental or intellectual. Whether it is at the organs of perception or in action, organs of action or the mental level. Sharira Vakmana. These are the three aspects or equipments from which actions spring forth. All actions, good and bad. They are all the Nyayam va Viparitam va. These five are the cause for, meaning no action can spring without all these five aspects. Continue. Tatraivam sati kartaram Atmanam kevalam tuyaha Tatraivam sati. Even though it is exactly as I said, this is the mechanism which brings out the manifested activities, the performance of the machine. And this machine is functioning because of his presence there. The car is made up of matter, material, things. None of them has got locomotion. But they are so arranged. It is not because of the engine the car is moving. It is not because of the tires or the wheels. It is not because of the body or the leather or the glass in it. But all of them are moving forward because of the presence of something other than the engine in the car, the gas or the petrol. The petrol releases the horsepower of the engine. Then the car moves forward. The equipment by itself can do nothing. But when the energy passes through the equipment performs. The bulb burns, gives us a light. The heater provides us with heat. The radio supplies all the noisy confusions in the world. When energy passes through these three equipments, when electrical energy is passing through it, these equipments, electrical equipments, perform their function. The body, the mind, the intellect are all made up of matter. Matter is inert and insentient. The table in front of me cannot move by itself, nor can it know that I am sitting behind it and talking. Even though the table is right in front of me, it doesn't understand a word. The difference between you and the chair upon which you are sitting down. If there is any difference. The chair doesn't know that you are sitting on it. You know that you are sitting on the chair. Lucky that the chair doesn't know. If the chair starts knowing it, many of us may not get a chair anywhere. Every chair runs away saying that, no, not on me. Now the equipment is made up of matter, the 5 great elements, minerals, the body, the mind, the intellect. But they are all in us at this moment, in this evening, at this moment. This body is dynamic and sentient. I am conscious of my body and the world around me. How can matter made up of calcium, carbon, phosphorus and water be dynamic and sentient? How can wrought iron and steel move forward except by something other than these in it? Bulb by itself has no light. Its body, the wall of the bulb, has no light. The anode, cathode has no light. The filament has no light. Bulb by itself is no light. But when electricity passes through it, the filament glows because of its resistance to electrical flow, and the light is emanating. Carefully think. Similarly, these equipments, Krishna apologizes. He counted what? The sense organs of perception, sense organs of action, the individualized perceiver, as well as the instruments outside or the fields outside. These are the 5 constituent parts of all activities. Be it arising from the body or the mind or the intellect, in all activities these 5 factors are to play. Understood. But this is a contradiction in terms, because these are made up of matter. So all these that you have explained is only the engine. But how does the engine function? Not what are the functions of the engine, but how does the engine function? Because of what does the engine function? It is something other than the engine, the energy that functions through the equipment. The teacher points out, Tatraivam sadi, even though it is so, what I have said is true. But what I am talking was only the engineering or the mechanism of experiences, mechanism of action. Tatraivam sadi, kartaram atmanam kevalam tu saha. The karta, the one that is functioning all these, is the one Atman, the self. What are you talking, Swamiji? Other than the sense organs and the mind and the intellect, there is something in me. Those akrita buddhi, one who has not purified the mind and become contemplative and sensitive or subtle enough in his poignant thinking, will not be able to recognize. All that we will recognize is only that this egocentric individuality. Everybody understands Atman, I, the self, means this sufferer, this perceiver, I, feeler, I, the thinker, I, the physical, the psychological and the intellectual personality. This is all that we understand. We are not able to understand that these three are expressions of something. Electricity is not light, heat and sound. Light, heat and sound are expressions of electricity when it is functioning through the bulb, the heater and the radio. When some mysterious, miraculous, mighty power in our bosom, when it tickles or enlivens the body, the mind, the intellect, there arises the conscious, physical, mental and intellectual me. But they are not able to. Pashyatyagrita buddhitvad. Agrita buddhi, they have not, the buddhi, their mind and intellect is not kritam, not tuned up yet to understand the higher. They are still engaged in the world of OET, disturbed, confused, confounded, eruptions of desires and the mental agitations, and therefore they are not able to perceive this subtle presence in us. Agrita buddhitvad. Sapashyadi durmadihi, napashyadi durmadihi. He is not able to recognize the presence of this pure self. Durmadihi, because of the impurities of the mind and intellect. Impurities means its oscillations and agitations. It is not steady. Carefully think. These mechanisms and their functions we can explain. You all will understand it quickly because it is at that level. But all of them happens by what? How does it function? After all, is it not mere matter? How can matter be dynamic and conscious? Matter is inert and insentient. That which enlivens everything. This is a sentence of the Bible itself, declaration of the Bible, Christian Bible, that the Lord is in the heart of all, He enlivens everything. This touch of life, flame of existence, this divine presence in our bosom, call it life if you like. If you are against God, don't use that word. You are only complaining a word. The word by itself is nothing. It indicates something. That silent, mysterious, miraculous, mighty presence in our bosom is not, we are not able to, we are only able to appreciate only its expressions. Its mere presence. The body, the mind, the intellect becomes vitalized or enlivened, and they start functioning in the world outside. But this mere presence, we are not able to recognize it even though it is in our own bosom. It is not somewhere outside. You need not make a pilgrimage. Because Akrita Buddhi, our intellect and mind has not come to that intense mood of contemplation yet. Why is it not contemplating? Its mind is running towards OET. Why is it going run OET? Because of the pressure of the vasanas. So but the vasanas are exhausted through selfless, dedicated work of fulfilling your noble duties, your obligatory duties in the society without ego and egocentric selfish desires. The vasanas are unloaded. To the extent the vasanas are unloaded, the pressure on M and I is reduced. The mind and intellect becomes steady, pure, kritam, purified, integrated, and such a mind and intellect is able to recognize that I am not in the least involved in all these activities. I am the actionless center. In my mere presence, actions spring forth from me. This action springing forth from me is my vilasa matra, my display. It's not that I am doing anything, but it is my expression, something like your shadow. When you are walking along the road, the shadow is following you. You have not ordered a shadow, always follow me. And now and then you pause. Why? I am just to repair my shadow. You need not. You may be ignorant of it, shadow will follow you. Similarly, actions, physical, mental, intellectual, will spring forth from me because of my presence in this bosom. Think. But agrita buddhi, the mind is not purified and therefore they are not able to recognize it. Meaning thereby, those who have purified the mind, they do recognize the presence of this, its presence in their own bosom, the self. Continue. Yasya naham krito bhavaha buddhir yasya na lipyate Hatvapi lokan. When you are identified with that state, all these actions may spring forth from you, but there is no ego to claim it as my action, that I am the doer. Any action you do, good or bad, it cannot create any vasanas, it cannot affect you. Yesterday, before I went to bed, an appeal that came in the mail from a leprosory was read by me. It had some of those most abominable, vulgar pictures of the various conditions of the inmates. But as I was reading, I was feeling sleepy, therefore I said, lo, in my dream, I became a leper. Suffered terribly. Community with injustice rejected. Nobody will give me food or clothing or shelter. They put me in one corner, rejected and exiled me from the society. Starving, hungry, angry with the whole society, but incapable of doing anything. Nor can I go and mix and mingle with them. Society, friendship and love, divinely bestowed upon man. Oh, had I the wings of a dove, how soon would I taste thee again? Alexander Sherker. He was in an island after a wrecking of a ship, and he was all alone, nobody to protect him. Then he feels that the glory of human society. Similarly, I was crying for some companionship, some friendliness, some smile of the human form. Nobody, rejected, despondent, I was remaining there. It is at that time I suddenly rejected me from the society, therefore I had to go into the jungle. And there I was sitting down, despaired. Is at that time a tiger came. Life is sacred even in a dream. Even though I am angry with the whole society, I am a helpless, hopeless guy, full of leprosy, let us say. But even then, life is sacred to me. So I started running. What is the use of running? The tiger came and looked at me in my eyes. I woke up. When I woke up, who was looking into my eyes? My wife. I said, what are you looking? What are you doing? What am I doing? You are doing and all that. So I thought, what is wrong with you? And I was looking into your face, you opened your eyes. When I thus wake up, should I run to the doctor, phone up the doctor, saying that last night I had leprosy? So anti-leprosy serum, injections, at least half a dozen of them. I must proceed. No! In the dream, if the dog bit me, should I take an what do you call that? Rabies. Rabies, what is that, injection should I take? When I have woken up, I am no more a dreamer. When I am not a dreamer, the dream and the dreamer disappeared. And I discovered that the essential me in the dream is me, the waker. The waker is not affected in the least by anything in the dream. If this is understood, at this moment, we are all at this level of PFT, level of consciousness. I am the doer, and I do the functions or work in the world outside. The vasanas are created. The vasanas kick my mind and intellect. And since I am entrapped in it, I suffer again the consequences. An individual I, having lifted myself from here and awakened to the God state of consciousness, whatever might have been the vasanas here, it can never affect me. Because I am beyond. I was not the doer. The dreamer was the doer. The dreamer committed murder in the dream, and he was running and the police was after him, and he woke up at that time. Should he continue running in the waking state? For what? The crime of the dream cannot be punished or will not affect me when I wake up. In order to wake up to that state, a certain poise of the mind is necessary. When that poise is not there, even though we may explain to you and you are logically understood, but no experience comes of the higher state. Tasya naham krito bhavaha. He has no more the feeling that I am the doer. He is not at this level of consciousness at all. Buddhiryasya nalipyade. Therefore, such an individual, when he is working in the world outside, his intellect or mind is not conditioned by the vasanas. Such an individual, hatva vinayamam loka. Even if such an individual from that state, when he is even killing all these people because from the general, he is coming to the particular sorrow and problem of Arjuna. Arjuna was worried that if I kill all these people, will it not be a sin to me? Think. How many doctors have killed patients? Think. Surgeons probably, taking the knife, making an incision in them, and bleeding, the patient collapses or dies. It is not considered a murder. Think. While when I make an incision upon my neighbor's daughter, and bleeding she dies, I am hung. Manslaughter. Premeditation and motive is there, and therefore you must be punished. The justice of the society. What is the difference? The action is the same. In both the cases, a young girl died. Both of them died because of a wound made of a steel knife. In the hospital it is called incision, and here it is called a daggering. I had no certificate to show MBBS. He is a MD. I did it in the street, while he did it in the operation theatre. This is all the difference. Thereby he goes scotch-free. Why? Even we, the relation of that girl, is grateful to the doctor. While everybody in the community condemns me for murdering. Why? Is it not the mental attitude? The doctor's anxiety was to cure the patient and put him on the feet. In my case, I wanted my personal lust to be fulfilled. So I did the crime with ego and egocentric desires. Therefore it became an evil. That doctor had no such intention of killing, nor is he the thought of killer I am. What he wanted was the best of intentions. According to his science, this is to be done. It's a serious case, but this is the only way to revive her. And with the best of intentions he did. And that is why doctors have got a very beautiful language to say. Operation was successful, but the patient collapsed. Meaning it is not my fault, but the patient wanted to go, and therefore I allowed him. Bye-bye. Collapsed. Think. So an action is good or bad according to how much of the ego and selfish desires are motivating that action. Wherever there is no ego, nor any selfish motive, all actions are noble. What I am doing at this moment, is it a sin or a merit? The action by itself is neither sinful or meritorious. Action is conversion of the physical body. But it becomes good or bad according to my motives. If I am doing it for some selfish motive or with an ego, certainly the noblest of action becomes a sin. But if I am doing even sweeping the street, but without any ego, without any selfish idea, as my service to the Lord, because all these people are walking, all are my beloved Lord, He is walking, I am serving. In that attitude, when you are doing it, it also becomes a meritorious action. So then, keeping this idea in mind, which is our scriptural thought, the Krishna here explains, even Arjuna, you are to kill, which is the duty that is called upon by the society for you as a soldier. And that is your job. Just as a doctor is not killing, a soldier is not called as a great murderer. He protected the country. He was not angry with the Pakistan man, soldier in front of him, or the Chinese man. But he was defending his country. He shot him because or else he will shoot me, therefore he shot. He did not want to kill him and get something from him. No. There is no intention of killing. Therefore a soldier is not called a murderer, though he has murdered people. He has taken life of the people, the enemies. A doctor is not called a murderer, even though many people have died under his knife. The Supreme Court judge is not called as a murderer, even though many people have been hung according to his judgment. Think. None of them had any premeditated, motive behind it. They were doing their job. Therefore, Arjuna, your fear in the first chapter that you expressed, that I don't want to kill all these people. What do you mean by saying that all these people are to be, I must meet them with the arrows? I cannot, I'm going there. Fool, don't say that. Recognize that it is your duty as your particular profession or particular proficiency, and you are offering it to the society for the protection of the society. With that bhav when you are doing it, even if you are killing these people, you are not doing any crime at all. Continue. Jnanam jneyam parijñātam trividha karma chodanam karanam karma karteri. this much of constituent parts that constitute an action is analyzed. Now the teacher is analyzing what are the impulses behind every action. What prompts me to act? And what are the bases of action? Karma chodana, that which gives prachodana, the promptings for the actions, the impulse for actions. And karma sangraha, what are the material bases of all action? He says, jnanam jneyam parijñāta trividha karma chodana. The impulse to act are three only. Jnanam, knowledge, experience. Jneyam, the thing experienced or the object of knowledge. And parijñāta, the knower of the knowledge. Isn't it? The jnanam, I know the cigarette is good. My knowledge. Jneyam, the thing known, the cigarette outside. I know cigarette is wonderful. Then I get the cigarette. Then I enjoy the cigarette. Then you leave here. First action. Before you search for the chapel. And the first puff is so enjoyable. Why? 1.5 hours not smoke. I'm not joking. When you are thirsty, a glass of water. What pleasure! Thus, jnanam jneyam parijñāta, the knowledge, the known and the knower. The experiencer, the experienced, and the experience. These three are karma chodana. If I don't know a thing, I can't act in that field. Even if I know, but it is not available, I can do nothing. If that knowledge is there, the thing is available, but I am sleeping. Cannot. The experiencer, every one of you is an experiencer. Now here you are experienced. The object of your experience is the Swami and his talk. I am the object of your experience. Even though you are there and I am continuously speaking without any respite, all sentences you cannot experience. In between, you don't hear the Swami at all. Why? The experiencer, you, took a trip. Suddenly you remember that I don't think I locked that almirah. I think I left it there. I washed my face and came and dressed up and then I came away. I think I did not lock the... That's when you are worried about the almirah that is open in the house and what will happen to that. The servant is there and I don't know, the husband is there but he is like that, he will only... At that time Swami cut a joke. Everybody laughed. Yes, but you are not understood. So you ask the neighbor. Experiencer and experienced is here. The experiencer is not there, therefore there is no experience possible. These are the three karma chodana. They are the impulses behind action. Karanam karma karte. Karanam, the instruments. Karma, the action. Karta, the actor, doer. Trividha karma sangraha are the three kinds of karma sangraha, are the basis of action. When we analyze and understand the meaning of it, we are really dumbfounded at the scientific sagacity of these great thinkers, how exhaustively, as though writing a thesis upon it, how exhaustively they have thought over the work. The Western philosophers or the thinkers of the modern times have got techniques of work, which they call as a science of management. But they have not yet, they are still seeking and not yet discovered a philosophy of work. Technique of work they have developed and beautifully evolved. Hallelujah to them. Wonderful techniques they have developed. Technical knowledge is good for an engine. I must have the technical knowledge and know-how of a machine so that I can take the best performance from the machine. But the technical knowledge of work cannot fully effective in getting from you a better performance in the society, because you are not a mere machine. You are a thinking and feeling machine. Since man is an independent thinking and feeling organism, mere techniques cannot bring out from the individuals inspired, dedicated work. To include and incorporate the feelings and thoughts of man is called philosophy. The man who is listening to it must intellectually understand, and his higher emotions must be brought forth. And when he thus becomes really dedicated to a piece of work, the quantum of work and the quality of work becomes stupendously perfect. Now, how are we to inspire our labor or our management itself? Everybody is slacking, nobody interested. Only when you go and compare them with the enthusiasm with which Japan functions, or other industrially developed nations function, then only you understand. The techniques are good, I admit. But the techniques by themselves are not sufficient for improving management. In order to manage an affair or a community, I am not talking on industry and commerce only, but managing a community, managing a nation, even the governmental machinery, if every one of them who is working there and putting the shoulder to it, if they are not enthusiastic and inspired to make sacrifices for the sake of reaching the goal, the country's greatness and glory will not be brought out. Here is the philosophy of work. In this verse, the teacher points out, however much you may have the beautiful field and you want to act in the world outside, the question there still arises, what is the impulse that motivates me to act in the world outside or in any given field? What compels me to act? What makes you by every evening to come back again here? You yourself think, it's not me. It is something subjective in you. It has been tickled by yourself, not by me. And once it is tickled, you cannot keep quiet. What is the impulse of action? And what are the basis of action? The minimum requirements to start any activity. Everything subjective. We are not asking that finance and machinery and the raw material are necessary for production. They are all talking of outer world. In order that you may start a great endeavor, what are the requirements needed in you? What is the impulse that keeps you on, facing all the challenges? Nothing fatigues you. Why? I want it. What is impulses? Whether I'm doing a good work or a bad work, never mind. Whether it is productive or destructive, what is the impulse? And what are the bases for it? Is being enumerated. Jnanam, Jneyam, Parijnata. These three are Trividha, the triple karma chodana. Chodana, impulse, the motivating force. What is it that is compelling you to act in the world? Jnanam, Jnata, and Jneyam. First, I have a knowledge of a particular desire rising in my mind. If only I can get that, how nice it would be. Now the object is not there. You are not started working. When you are sitting down, suddenly a jnanam rose. What? A cup of coffee can give me happiness. Paramajnana. On Sunday, after breakfast, when you have finished reading newspapers and got utterly despaired of this country and its calamitous situation, you say that let me wash it all down by a cup of coffee so that my old serenity will come. That jnanam, that coffee can do that for me. Another man, it is not coffee, but it is some other liquid. Each one has got his own knowledge. A knowledge of a desire. Then that object must be available. If it is there in the bottle in my own almirah, immediately I take it. But if it is not available, so a coffee, the idea of the coffee, then I know that if I go there in the kitchen and in the right psychological mood, in the right tone, if I ask, the chances are that the mother of the children might probably give me a cup of coffee. That availability, isn't it? And all these are, I want it. I am unhappy at this moment and I would like to have it. If I get it, I shall be the karta, the agency. So the experiencer, the experienced, and the knowledge of the experiencer. Isn't it? I become, if I have not got the desire, there is no activity. Would you want a cup of coffee? Come on, let us go. I said, no. Why? I have not got that desire. Even if that coffee desire is there, the coffee is not available. That right type of coffee is not available, therefore I have no desire. Even though the desire may come, it goes on. I don't act. In deep sleep, I, the experiencer, is not available, and therefore, even though beautiful music is going on, and I am a lover of music, and yet I don't hear anything. Why? Hearing activity will not take place because the individuality is there. Think again and again. So then, jnanam, the knowledge of the experience, this will give me the knowledge of the desire, the awareness of the desire rising in the mind. Jneyam, the object of my experience. And parijnata, the experience, are the three, are the karma chodana. That is when I am conscious of a desire for an object which is available, I rush out to get that object. And whatever be the obstacles en route, I am ready to face them all, circumvent them, jump over them, somehow find the antidote for it, and strike and strive to reach the object of my desire. This is the motivating force. Similarly, what are the bases of action? Karma sangraha. These are necessary, without which no action is possible. A doctor, he sees the patient and he says that a slight surgery is necessary. But no knife is available, the instruments are not available, no hospital in the vicinity. What can the poor man do? He can't say that, bring me the vegetable cutting knife. It is not cutting a string, it is in a human body. So if that is all not available, the doctor will have to take the patient to the nearest hospital where it is available. There are certain sangraha, things are necessary to do the job. Similarly, what are the instruments necessary subjectively in you in order to rush out into the world outside and act, work, strive to reach what I want? They are karanam, the instruments of perception and action. They must be, I must have a hand to lift, I must have a leg to walk, I must have the instruments of eyes and ears and nose and tongue, skin to see. If these instruments are not there, then what can I do? I can have a desire but keep quiet because it is not available. Old man, about 85 or 90, and he would like to go to the sun because inside the room it is too cold, but then he can't get up, and his son is not there, and even if he can't call for the sun because his sound is not sun. So you have to wait until the sun comes, and when the sun comes, you say, and the sun will have to carry you out. But if today, the moment you feel that it is too cold and I would like to be in the sun, the next moment your leg gets up and you just rush out. You understand? In order to have the work completed, to perform a work, certain things are unavoidable. Karanam, the instrument, karma, I must be able to react with the situation. Karma is the BMI, the body, the mind, the intellect, encountering the situations around provided by the objects, emotions and thoughts. Is called karma. My interaction with the situation around me. That karma is necessary. And kartedi, there must be the agency. I, with my instruments, is reacting to a given situation in front of me. Karanam karma kartedi. These three are the karma, sangraha, the necessary materials required. In the absence of any one of them, action will never take place. If the agent is not there as in deep sleep, no action can take place. When you are not reacting to the external stimuli, you are not ready to face the challenge, there is no action. Or supposing I have not got the hands, I cannot lift. If I have not got the legs, I cannot walk. If I have not got the instruments, the eyes and ears, I cannot see or hear. So in order to work, the minimum requirements are the sense organs of action and perception. There must be an intelligent anxiety in you to encounter the situation around, face the challenge around. And lastly, there must be the idea of I who am wanting to face the world, the agency. These three together constitute the minimum requirements, the instrumentation in order to perform any activity. We are not talking of the good and the bad. All activities, even to murder my own mother, all these instruments are necessary, isn't it? I must see that it is a mother. If suppose I am not seeing the eyes, I may, thinking that it is a mother, I may kill the mother of my children. It will be a great tragedy. I must have the hand to lift the dagger. I must have the agency that no, this old lady wants to go from this world. For the sake of the world, I am doing this wonderful thing. Isn't it? Or else, nobody can do it. Every action, however vulgar the action may be, however base and animalistic the action may be, great spiritual path, a Buddha leaving the home for a great search, all these instruments are necessary for every activity. Continue. Jnanam karma cha karta cha. karma cha karta cha. Jnanam, the knowledge. The kind of knowledge that I have got. Knowledge there means the sum total of memories of the past. The education that I had from the society, from books, from others, the ideals that I have kept in my memory, that total memory of the past is called the jnanam, the knowledge. Plus the knowledge that I have gained by my own experience. Look at it as you are a doctor. What is your knowledge? Where did you get it? You find 98% from books, from institutes, from other specialists, and 2% or 1% from my own experience of tragic dealing with other patients. That patient died because I did not do it, so then I gained a little knowledge. Patients had to die in order to gain my knowledge. Lawyers, engineers, hey, look at businessmen. How did you learn this? By the hard way, Swamiji. I lost a lot. In 69, 70, 72, lost everything. Then I became smart. Now others are losing. Whoever touches me, they lose and I gain. You understand? Experience. Jnanam is the total knowledge that you have got. Jnanam. Karma, with that knowledge, we interact with the world outside. And karta, I, the individual who is doing the action. These are the minimum things in all of us whenever we are encountering the world or doing any performance in the world. I have got certain knowledge, for example, my knowledge of the Gita. Then I bring it out in expression, the speech. And there must be me, conscious here of what I am speaking and how you are reacting to it in order to make it more understandable to you and my performance may be better. Suppose I don't remember myself, I am in a sleepy mood and now and then I ask you, what did I say now? You say that, what do we know? You understand? I must be aware of what I am talking. I must be conscious that I am here right now doing this job. Three things are necessary. All these three, the jnanam, the knowledge, type of knowledge I have got, the type of, the quality of performance, and the quality of my personality. All the three, every one of us. When I say I am only indicating as an example. You as an individual person, and your performance in the world outside, as it is ordered and controlled and governed and determined by your knowledge, your values of life, your assumption or calculation of the situation. Jnanam. All these three, in each one of us, each one of these three fall under the three categories. When my mind is in a sattvic mood, my knowledge will be totally different. When I am in a rajasic mood, my knowledge changes. And when I am in a tamasic mood, chalo yaar, maja karun. Hey, but that is papa kakya. I will manage with God when I meet Him. Let me have the enjoyment just now. Your knowledge changes. Your personality changes. Karta. And the quality and texture and beauty and brilliance and charm of your work done also changes according to the three moods. Which this is known to us. It is being classified beautifully in these verses. Rochade guna sankhyani. It is not that I am giving it out to you, Krishna says. In the Sankhyan philosophy, it is expounded. In the Sankhyan literature, as it is now standing, there is no such discussion. Therefore, some critics would say that there must have been probably a book at that time very popular, and therefore Vyasa dipped into it and brought it out. Now it is extinct, as many textbooks in every great literature get lost. Similarly, this has got lost, can be a historical accident, or it can be That Gunasankhya, when he said, he only meant in the rigid logic of the Upanishads. The Sankhyan of the Upanishads. The logical sequence of thought development as propounded and given out in the great scriptures, the Vedic textbooks. Gunasankhya. Yathavat srunutanyapi. Yathavat, rightly, with calm mind, in order to grasp it for yourself, with a great diligence and attention. Please listen to those also which I will now enumerate. Continue. Sarva bhuteshu yenaigam Now first he is trying to give the three types of jnanam, understanding, knowledge. Now that jnanam, that knowledge, which helps us to recognize, which gives me the vision of the sense of oneness in all living beings. Not that we are Marathi, we are Kanri, Karnataka people, Karnataka, not that way, distinctions. Or the man, woman, or white and black and brown, the greys and the color. To see distinction, any fool can see distinction. If you have got sense organs, you can see the distinction, isn't it? The tree is, the trunk is not like the branch is not like the twig is not like the leaf is not like the flower is not like the fruit. There is a crowd standing there. What? A tree. To see a tree, though we are seeing different things and aspects of the tree, we must have the penetrating vision that from the root to the topmost bud, it is the one sap that nurtures and nourishes the tree, and therefore we say they are all together one. To see oneness, there must be knowledge. To see plurality, knowledge is not necessary. Look, even the animal sees only plurality. To recognize that all of you are Indians, and they are my brethren, a little understanding is necessary. If that understanding is not there, if I call you brother, since you have not got the understanding, you ask me, are you your brother? Where are you from? Because it's a new discovery that you are my brother. Where are you from? I am from Kerala. No, then you are misunderstanding me to be somebody else. No, brother, you are my brother. No, my father never went to Kerala. See that my knowledge. Then you have to explain to me, not in that sense of the term, but we are in the same udara, sahodara. Udara, same womb. Saha udara, the one who has come from the same womb, it is called a brother. You are my sahodara because we all are living in the same womb, the mother India, and we are under the same sun, the same air, and we are being watered by the same rivers, and we are all one country, and therefore even though I happen to be on the wrong side, on the right side of the Western Ghats, and you are on the wrong side, but we are all, you understand? So, that way you see, your knowledge is changed, and then you see the oneness. The ability in you to see that knowledge which helps us to see the oneness, the one life that pulsates in all forms. No doubt, expressed differently, because the equipments are different, the body, the mind, the intellect are different, therefore expressions are different, but that which is expressing through the body, mind and intellect is the one Lord in the heart of all, who enlivens every body, mind and intellect, to recognize His presence everywhere. Sarva bhutesh, in all living beings, yena, that by which, that knowledge by which, ekam avyayamikshade, one who is able to, that knowledge by which I can see or recognize, experience, understand that there is a one infinite life pulsating through different forms. That knowledge, avibhaktam vibhaktesh, though I am separate from you, you are not she, she is not he, we are all separate in form, and here there is a spot of brilliant life dynamically expressing, and there in you the life dynamically expresses. Don't understand that here is life, there is life, he is life. No, in between also there is life. This mighty reality is unconditioned by the forms. Undivided it is, even though it expresses in different forms. You are a dynamic expression of life. As he is an expression, she is an expression. Between you all are also the reality, the truth. But I am not seeing it. That is only because there are no equipments for it to express. At the bulbs, electricity is expressed. Thereby are we such fools that we say that electricity is only at those points? In between also in the wire there is electricity, but it is not manifested because a bulb is not available there. Cut the wire and insert a bulb. You will find there also there is light because the electric current is everywhere, manifesting for our gross vision in points where there are equipments. But in between the equipments also, the electricity is there in a condition of unmanifest. Avibhaktam, this great reality is undivided, ever remaining everywhere, but vibhaktamiva, as though separate from individual point to point. Wherever there is equipment to the mind and intellect and the physical body, we find a great flash of expression. That knowledge which makes me recognize the one essence everywhere, not only in the individuals but in between too. Such a knowledge, when you have got, is called the sattvic knowledge. It is the best and the noblest because it transmutes you. Your relationship with the world outside changes because all these are nothing but the expression of the oneself. So just as in me, the hands are not like the legs are not like the toes are not like the nose is not like the ears, and yet I am one because I pervade, me pervade in all these. This is also me, the leg also is me, the nose also is me. They may have different structure, different name, different functions, but in all of them, I am there. When the self in me is recognized as the self everywhere, all forms become mine, however good or bad or indifferent the individuals be. They may be different in looks, different in their performance, different in their names, and yet they are all one because they are the self of the self that enlivens me. In me is the one self that enlivens everywhere. This knowledge that redeems us from all these misconceptions of plurality, raga, dvesha, the various competitions, the various sorrows, the sense of possession, the wanting to aggrandize more and more, all these ends with the understanding that all these are nothing but that one self's own brilliant manifestation. That knowledge, we call it as sattvic knowledge. But what about our knowledge? It is not sattvic, because you have not got that feeling. You feel that no, Karnataka people are separate from these wretched Malayalis and the vulgar Tamilians and the useless Andhra people and the North India. This is an international language. It is coming. International conference of the Karnataka Canaries language is coming. International. Tamil also, international. Now, I don't know what is the language which is not international. Hindi, they have no doubts about it, is international. Because one MP went there to France and wanted a soap. He could not get it. Because there they don't take much bath, but when you wanted to take a bath, the hotel had no soap. So he said, okay. He went to the neighbor, just to get down the hotel, and went to the shop and said, come on, give me soap. The French man, what does he know of English? Sir, monsieur, soap. He repeats, but no intelligence comes to him. He said, soap. This is a thing they have never done because water is not available. They don't understand. This is something that he wants. Probably this customer has got scratching all over the body. He doesn't understand. Until at last this MP got so tired and exhausted, he got annoyed, and he come into, when you are annoyed and extremely angry, etc., your own vernacular comes out. So then he said, "Are yaar, sabun de sabun." He got annoyed. To the utter surprise of the MP, the shopkeeper immediately bowed down and said, "Saboon, saboon." For in French, saboon is saboon. You see? So he understood and immediately brought 20 different types of soaps, and the minister and the MP took the cheapest. And when he came back to Delhi, he said that, what do you think of the Hindi? Hindi to international language. In France, no other language they could understand except Hindi. Thus, we have got an attitude of everything different. The pure wisdom is to understand all these are the play of the one infinite consciousness, dancing in its own ecstasy. That knowledge is sattvic. And our knowledge? Coming. Prithaktvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan prithak vidhan the knowledge in me which really studies deeply and understands the difference between one set of people and another, one individual to other, and keep different relationships. This perception of plurality, of distinctions, of differences is called the knowledge passionate, the rajasic type of knowledge, which brings tension and stress and strain to the individual. Prithaktvena, as separate from each other, tatyajnanam, nana bhavan prithakvidan. He recognizes the various entities as different from each other. Caste, creed, color, nationality, socialist, communist, there's political groupisms, recognizing the high and the low, recognizing the engineers different from the doctors, different from the lawyers, different from the fools, the employed and the unemployed, the management and the labor. That intellect which recognizes only differences, and I am supposed to keep different relationships with different people. Pruthak, pruthak, alag, alag, separate from each other. Veti sarveshu bhuteshu, recognizes in all living beings, not able to see the harmonious oneness. And this is what is happening in our country today. Nobody says that I'm Indian. Even if you say that, hey, that is not what I asked. Where are you coming from? I am Indian. Who are you? Indian? That is not it. I want to know from which part of India you are coming. Assam. You need it. If I say Kerala, Punjab cannot understand. Acha, aap Kerala ka hai? Because they have heard only Kerala. Kerala means the bitter gourd. Aap Kerala ka hai? Haan, but I don't like it. So what I wanted to say was, this distinctions. And there is a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then Harijans, and then people with wisdom and no wisdom, people with money and no money, people with efficiency, no efficiency. This kind of distinction, a knowledge that makes me always classify people and keep them in different stages and make me keep different relationships with them. This kind of a knowledge that disintegrates the community, and therefore your vision also is called rajasic, the passionate. The tamasic knowledge I need not discuss, but you can only understand how honest Krishna is, because it is a perfect description of us. Yaksto Krishna vade kasmin that meaning, that knowledge, tamasamidudahradam, is called tamasic, the lowest, basest knowledge. Such an individual also has got intelligence. But what is the difference? Why is this tamasic you call? Because yattu krishnavada ekasmin. He recognizes that it is a universal thing. One little effect, he takes it up and puts all his understanding on that. Germany had it during the last war. Before that, we are Aryans. And anybody un-Aryan, eliminate. The world is only for the Aryan. We are the best. That one little effect, he recognizes it as the whole, Aryanize the world. See that? Aryanize the world. And those who are Anaryas, destroy them. How to destroy them? By any means. Shoot them, but that is all very costly. Gas them, but that is also not available. Bury them alive, but I know it is all. Digging is very difficult. Think of it. Any method. All with the knowledge, no doubt. And what is the knowledge? A fanatic knowledge. One, communism or socialism. The whole world must be that. Who are not that my party, they are all enemy number one. Eliminate the whole lot. We are having that. Similarly, Christian feels that the whole world must become Christianized, convert them or destroy them. Islam has no doubt about it. Topi or sword, they have been doing it. So too the Hindus. Sanatani alone is a real Hindu, and he must have a thread. The thread is the sign of religion or spiritual. Every one of us has got it. You also got your own fanaticism. Think. That's one little fact. One little fact. He is not capable of comprehending the large thing. One little thing he understands, and that he makes it a universal. A little vision, petty vision, tamasic, ahayetukam, and thereafter, without any hetu, without any reason, rhyme or reason, ahayetukam, atattvarthavada, without any basis in truth, alpam, narrow vision, accepting this narrow, unreasonable, with no basis in truth, this narrow vision, you take it and try to make it universal. This attitude of knowledge, such a knowledge is called tamasic, the basest knowledge. And it is such tamasic knowledge that has brought about all political, economic, social, religious disturbances in society, caused a lot of death, unnecessary sorrow and tribulation in the world. Whether it is a war that arose at that time, or what is going on there in Iran today, or in Ireland today, all these are, or what went through just now in Trivandrum, all these are fanatic beliefs of a little knowledge that I have got. And I have not got that sagacity, that intellectual vision to expand that understanding. And I consider that alone is the truth. Such a fanatical beliefs which have brought and shaken and rocked the world in their political and social living, such a knowledge is called tamasic. It is dangerous to the community, dangerous to the individual himself. Continue. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshata kritam abhala prepsuna karma Jnanam, the knowledge in you, is been divided into three and indicated to you. Anybody with a sense of knowledge or understanding or sensibility of culture will understand that sattvic is the best, rajasic is the next, but tamasic is something that I must come out of. Fanaticism, mere irrational belief in a certain understanding of mind, and I want to spread it out as, or understand it as applicable everywhere. Having thus indicated the three types of knowledge, your own knowledge, even though you have got a sattvic knowledge sometimes, you are tended now and then to come down and evaluate the world from the knowledge rajasic or tamasic. Having explained this, the jnanam, now we are trying to explain karma. Karma, your interaction, your encounter with the world outside. The BMI at all the physical, mental and intellectual level, we encounter the situations provided in the outer world by the assembly of objects, a presence of emotions, or the atmosphere of thought available around us. In my encounter with the world outside, in my karmas also, in my physical, psychological and intellectual activities also, We can be not all the time sattvic, but we may sink into the rajasic and the tamasic. The symptoms of it is given so that you may understand in what mood my mind is and lift it up to higher at all times. Now, first of all, the sattvic karma is being explained. What do you mean by the highest and then your blessed type of attitude of reaction to the world outside or responses to the world? How am I to encounter the world? As long as I am living, I have to work. In what field should I work and how should I work? Niyatam, fulfill all your niyata karma, your obligatory duties towards your old members in the family or your wife and children, your brothers and cousins, whatever that you can do. Towards the society, the community, the country, I have got certain obligatory duties. Fulfill your obligatory duties, sangarehitam, without attachment. Attachment, I told you, I plus I want. It is not that I want it, but this is the thing to be done. This is my responsibility. Sangarehitam, sangarehitam, aragadveshata kridam. And while you are doing it, there is neither raga nor dvesha. Likes or dislikes. That I don't like, this I like to do. This is a duty to be performed. I shall do it, whether it I like or I like not. Whether it is with love or without any particular attachment with it. To work in the world outside. Rising above the whims and fancies of the mind of like and dislike. Like and dislike is, as I told you earlier, the objects, emotions and thoughts I like because they are in line with, conducive to my vasanas. When it is not conducive to the vasanas, I hate the thing. Without hatredness and liking, meaning rising above, not allowing the vasanas to cloud your thinking, not shackled by the past, freely act on the world outside. There is no question of certain things I like and certain things I don't like. Here I am in the world. And the situations arising towards me, coming or marching towards me. Meet those challenges as best as you can, not shackled by the past, cocooned by the past, but freely, with neither likes nor dislikes, no attachment with them, abhala prepsuna, no mental hunger or excitement, agitation, worrying over what would be the future. Will you all be benefited by the Gita talks? Am I communicating it to you? Will you be able to understand and live up to it? Will these activities revive the Hindu concept of right living amidst the society? That future will take care of it. This is the thing to be done. I've got this knowledge, you have not got it, share it with others. Not for anything. This is the thing to be done, and therefore we do it with an attitude of offering unto the Lord. The results is not my responsibility. The results lie in the future. And the future results are according to the quality and beauty of the actions performed today. These actions, beauty of my action will be lost if I am unnecessarily dissipating my mind with the over-anxiety of what is going to be the fruit. I refuse because I've got the data of the future. Abhala prepsuna. There is no anxiety to enjoy the fruits and the rewards of your action. Do it as your duty bound. Karma yattat sattvigam uchyate. This is called the sattvic karma. This is the attitude in which all the great prophets and masters have worked in the world inspiredly. He is not disturbed in the present, either by the memories of the past, nor the anxieties of the future. He pours forth what is necessary, what can come out of him. Not only his action becomes brilliant, but he himself, he enjoys every moment of it. Not the enjoyment of the talk that we are giving, or the work that is coming out, but the work is seeping out through you from a source unknown to yourself. The very touch of his flood, of his will flooding through you, is in itself an inexpressible sense of fulfillment. This is what you call as inspired activity. Whenever anybody is working in an inspired activity, his action overshines, outshines his own ability. Such an individual, when he has created a piece of art or a piece of letter or whatever that he has done, you say, you compliment him, "Hi, beautiful, today's sambar is so good. Darling, every day try to make like this." And she says, "I can't." Why not? It's just happened. What do you mean it happened? I don't know. It came through me. Who did it? Of course, that way I did it. But I did not do it. Why? If I can do like this, I would have done it every day, darling. But what to do, honey? I can't do it. Why? That day I was in an inspired mood. Similarly, musicians, certain days they forget themselves. The master painters, when they have brought out the masterpieces, they never claim that they did it. They become one with the theme, and the piece of art came out through them, but they don't claim that they made it. They can't make a sample. Inspired work, even though it comes through me, I am not responsible for it. I cannot repeat it. So the teacher here says out, yastu kamepsuna karma. Such actions are called sattvic actions.